Hey everybody, it's Adam, live and in person for you. Hey everybody, it's Adam, wonder who he'll interview. Call me Adam.com.
Can't believe it's been a whole year since I was on Lauren Moran's talk show, Chew the Scene. Since that time, we all had to pivot our lives due to the global pandemic. While Lauren continued acting and directing, she took a giant step towards one of her dreams with 3 of her friends and launched an independent film company. So without further ado, let me welcome Lauren Moran. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, how are you? It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. I can't believe it's been a year since we've seen each other live.
I know, and that's funny because I remember when we first spoke, and I remember us being in the studio together. Oh my gosh, we sat so close. Isn't that funny? Like all the close sitting and everything.
Yes.
And we just had such a great time.
Such a great time. It was so much fun. I love your hometown. It's pronounced Booten.
Yeah, it's Booten. It has the N, but we don't pronounce the N. It's just people who aren't from town say Boonton. But if you're from town, you just say Booten. Yeah, it's a great little downtown district. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yes, and we got to go to your favorite coffee shop, Booten Coffee.
Mm-hmm,
yes, and filmed there. You filmed some commercials, and you've done some other projects.
So yeah, we filmed last summer when restrictions were, mildly lifted. We did a commercial for Booten Coffee, but I also wrote a web series that we filmed in November, and we filmed a part of it at Booten Coffee.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how did you come going from acting, directing, talk show host to wanting to start your own film company and also start it with 3 of your friends?
So it's really crazy. A few years ago, I was doing Chew the Scene with Danny, and I've been talking, I'm like, I really kind of want to get into film. I always felt that my acting style was a little bit more film. I teach acting and I've done theater. But I just have always felt connected to it. I mean, listen, you go to the movies when you're young, right? It's more accessible than going to necessarily live theater. The movie theaters are there. So we grow up going to film. So I had put it in the universe. I'm a big manifester. And then I answered a Facebook ad they were casting for a paranormal investigative series. So I answered the ad. It was local, got cast, and that's how I met my team. So this was about 2.5 years ago, actually maybe 3. So we didn't really speak much because they were busy. They were the crew, and there was another director. But then they called me in for a voiceover. And then they called me in for a horror film. I do a lot of horror. And we just hit it off. We got along really well. And then they called me in for another horror film, which we filmed last February. We wrapped right before COVID hit hard.
Wow.
And it was during that time I said, do you guys want to start a film company? And they were like, yeah. And then COVID hit, and we did some stay-at-home videos. We did a stay-at-home video with our acting, our friends that we use in our films, which was super fun. Then we did a fight challenge video. But then we did the commercial. We did a political ad over the summer, like when we were allowed to open up. We did another commercial. We did 2 political ads. So it kind of happened really organically. And we're kind of in awe that we were able to work during this time. And we were, we're safe. I mean, we're in a pod, we see each other. So sometimes you're going to see us without a mask if we're together, but when we're on set, we wear masks. I mean, we have PPE and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a really bizarre thing, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And I'm the type of person that I do what I say.
Yes.
I don't try, I just do. And I'm very lucky. They're amazing. Darren Davidson, William Willis, and Richard Hall. And they're technically amazing filmmakers. I mean, they really are. Their wealth of knowledge, their skill is incredible. And we all bring different facets to the company. So yeah, we LLC'd, we went official in February.
Yes. And the film company is called
Big Eye Pictures. Yeah. And we got that name. We had a film that we were going to film in July, but it was going to be so hard to make it because at that point we weren't where we are now. But that
Mhm.
was a line in that film. So we kind of loved it. And we were like, this is going to be our name. And really just everything kind of flowed
Uh-huh.
and fell into place, which was kind of cool. We didn't have to really fight for much. I just think we're a perfect fit for each other.
And for other women out there who want to maybe start their own film company or just start their own anything, what advice would you have for them?
You know what? I always tell everyone, just do it. Don't say, I never say I'm going to try. I don't try anything. I just do it. And sometimes I'm going to be super successful. And sometimes I'm going to get a really great lesson. I say do it. You know, phones today are very much they're high tech. I mean, these are mini computers. So if you know, we have a lot of equipment for our company, but even if you have a cell phone, an iPhone, even a Samsung, you could get great editing software, get something down and just throw it out there. And it might land, it might not, but what are you going to learn from it? And it kind of inches you out of your comfort zone, because I think we tend to stay there because it's nice and comfortable. But I've learned to be the thrill in me being nervous or scared. I say yes to everything.
That's
I mean, that's
great.
just my thing. Say yes. I think it's a song. Say yes.
And what are some of the projects you have going on? I mean, I know you've mentioned you filmed some stuff throughout the pandemic. So what state are they all in?
So we filmed Verified, which is now it actually I'm going to break the news to you.
Yes.
We just got accepted into the London Indie Film Festival. So my web series will be over there. So we're in 3 festivals for that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a nice thing to wake up to. We are, you know, we just did a corporate video for Good Pops. We filmed a little short film called Nothing Left that my partner, William Willis, wrote. It's a post-apocalyptic short, funny horror. It was for a festival, like a competition last year when COVID happened. We were like, let's just get together and film it. So we got our friends. I mean, this is what you do. You get your friends and you're like, let's make a movie on the weekend. So that's what we did with that. And that's been sent out to some festivals. Like I just directed my first film, which was
Ooh.
exciting. Yeah, it was a year to the date that we started the company. So it was a year to the date that we wrapped. And it's a short film, female writer, female producer. The cast was just incredible. And we did it. And we've been working with a skeleton crew. So it's right now, it's just the 4 of us. So we do everything. And then we have an intern.
Because you also are a mother and a wife. So how do you balance all of it?
You know, I just do it. But the truth is, it's having a routine. And I was always the free spirit kind of, which I still am, kind of go with the flow. But I find that when I have a routine and I stick to it, which is hard, it's just like, you know, you got to retrain yourself. It's just retraining, and you just don't want to give in. You don't give in to what you don't want to do. You got to push through. The routine helps. My kids' home life is important to me for the kids. So I do cook every night. I handle, you know, their school stuff. I answer, you know, right away, you know, emails or whatever they need. I feel it's funny because I'm really happy with where my career is, and I couldn't imagine my kids, you know, not being here and being a part of it. It is hard, but they're very supportive. They know mommy's doing this, mommy's doing that, mommy's on set today. And they're also older now. I don't know if I could have done it when they were so little.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
what is something about yourself that you want to pass along to your children, or you hope to pass along to your children?
I try and pass it on to them every darn day. Resilience, definitely to be resilient. People are going to say things are going to happen. You know, feel that emotion that you feel at the time, but don't react to the emotion. So like, for instance, don't make a promise when you're super happy, because then you're going to level out and you're not going to be able to live up to that standard. Don't say anything when you're super angry. Take a beat, as my mom told me, which is what my tattoo says. Take that beat and sit with it, sit with that feeling, and you'll come down off of that. So, you know, resilience, kindness, empathy, and self-love. I think we're so afraid to love ourselves in this society. I think we feel so much more comfortable self-deprecating or putting ourselves down or putting other people down who self-love. And I say, love yourself, advocate for yourself, glorify yourself. We're all unique, we're all magic, we're all individual. Do it. So yeah, that's love yourself, because when you love yourself, you know what you deserve in life.
Yes. Yes. And how do you
So,
take, with everything you have going on, how do you even take time for yourself now?
oh, I do. I meditate 3 times a day. So I meditate first thing in the morning, and that's kind of like setting up my day.
Uh-huh.
Mostly thankful that I woke up. That's like my first thing. Kind of, choosing happy. Even on the grayest day, the darkest days, I will choose happy. Self-care, I get dressed and I shower, and I mean, sometimes I might be in sweats, but I'll always be put together. I don't lay around really and look slovenly, because I think that affects our moods too. I work better when I'm dressed. Self-care, I have my girlfriends. We obviously are not able to go out like we used to, but I have morning phone calls, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, over coffee. Exercise. I'm running, walking. What else do I do? Shopping, maybe here and there, not a lot, but if I see something I like, and I'll buy it. Buy the shoes, eat the cake, treat yourself. That's it. That's how you self-care.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that's great for, I think, everybody to hear, especially during this time. Sometimes it's hard to get into a routine like that. I mean, I struggle with it. I certainly struggle with, I mean, exercising is like, it should be one of my top priorities. It's definitely, as the pandemic goes on, it's definitely has been pushed down the list.
Well, I don't love it. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not one of these people that's like, I love going to the gym. I don't. But I do it because I know I feel better after. So I push myself. So I have a whole circuit that I do. If I don't get to go outside, we have 2 staircases in the house. I'll do step aerobics. I'll just go up and down the stairs, sit-ups, crunches, put-ups, push-ups, planking. I'll even sit and watch TV and just do some weights, because it's also for my head too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's the adrenaline. So it helps me stay focused, and I feel better. And then, you know what? It's when the weight comes off, or you start to see the muscle tone, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then you keep on doing it.
Yes.
It's hard though.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's good to have that continued motivation for it. Now let's talk about some lessons you have learned throughout the years.
Yes.
So what is one mistake you made early on in your career that became a life lesson for you to this day?
I feel like there's more than one.
Well, good. Tell me all of them.
I'm going to give 2, like the ethereal mistake is listening to other people's advice, who I didn't necessarily want my life to be like. Not that their life was bad, just that I wasn't honoring my true self. I was trying to fit into a place that I was not meant for me. So that, I think the tangible thing was that I didn't really go away to college. I went to County College of Mars, had a great experience. I would never, ever take that away. But I never went on after that. I did go to Lee Strasberg Theater Institute, which was great. But I feel that I didn't have that out of the house college experience, living on your own. And I'm wondering, I love my career and I love where my life has gone, but I'm wondering if I maybe would have been more successful if I had done the college thing. You make contacts in college, you meet people. Maybe I would have been, and I worked for like 20 years in regional theater in New Jersey. So I'm not complaining, but I felt like I was never able to kind of get over that, to be, on Broadway or off Broadway, even as maybe not as an actor, but maybe even as like a director choreographer. So that I would say, and then, trusting the wrong people, nothing like crazy, just, believing words instead of actions. Say believing words and not, people's behaviors. So like that stuff.
Those are good lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever been fired?
Not from a theater job. I was fired though in my life, like once. I was fired And I was in college and I was working for a photographer. And she's like, come on, I have like the studio in the basement. No, there was no studio. It was like a freaking dungeon. It was the most sad, cold cement basement ever. And I sucked at this job. She did sports photos. And I would have to like cry, like I don't even know what it was. It was like back in the day when you actually had film photography. And I would have to take the pictures, like match the numbers with the pictures. And I always messed up the numbers. So everyone always got the wrong picture. So she was not wrong to fire me, but she also was like the most unpleasant person too. So like at the time I'm like, yeah, at the time I'm like annoyed with her. And now I'm like, yeah, you should have fired me, but you were still kind of like not cool, but whatever. I couldn't blame her. I sucked.
What did that moment teach you?
That moment taught me to, I would say, that not everyone's going to like you, because she definitely did not like me. That we can do everything, but you really have to want to do it. I just don't think I really want to do this job.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really doing it. And pay more attention. You got to pay more attention. You have to listen more. You got to focus more. I mean, I was in my 20s. I was out partying at night. I mean, and then I have to go in the morning, like, to like do these pictures. So just to learn to be more responsible. These people are relying on me to be there for their business. So like I said, she wasn't wrong to fire me.
What is something you learned from a co-star or a castmate?
Well, I learned from all my castmates. I do. I'm a big listener. I mean, I talk a lot. I mean, hello, but I do listen and I watch. And I think, oh God, this is a really hard question. I think to show up, which I do, show up, be prepared, be ready to work. And I'll say, honestly, take nothing personal. I think that's the biggest thing, especially when you're in a rehearsal setting or a theatrical setting, or even on film. Things get emotional because there's that muddy line between reality and this fantasy we're creating, and these things get crossed. And I think sometimes emotionally we have a hard time handling it. So I would say the greatest lesson is, it's business, baby. Don't say mean things to people, but things might get a little hot on set or in rehearsal, and just take a beat, pull back. But just if you show up prepared and ready to go, no one can point their finger at you. So I would say that.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what is something you wish you could tell your younger self that would have saved you from a mistake or heartache?
Oh, God, so much. I guess got to sit down with this girl for like, a whole week. We need a vacation somewhere. I think accepting who you are, at a younger age, we try and be other people, celebrities. We see these celebrities, but we're not seeing like their backstory, right? We're just seeing, it's like the iceberg. We're not seeing underneath. We're just seeing this little cherry on top. And that's what gets into our head. But we're not seeing all their struggles. I mean, now we are because social media. But back then, I'd say own who you are, love who you are. I think that I would tell her the best is yet to come. I was a late bloomer. I did not peak in high school. I didn't really I had like a couple, like 2 boyfriends in high school, but I didn't really peak until, honestly, I'll say 40. I'm 45 now, and I'm not afraid to say it. I just think it gets better. I mean, we hear that all the time. It gets better. And a lot of the times what people say to you is mean things or criticizing. I'm not talking about constructive criticism, because that's different and that's important. That it's never about you. It's about the person it's about the person, not you. So I think those lessons, because I think I listen to a lot of noise, like what are people going to think? I don't care what they think. I don't care. I'm me. So when you accept you and your reality, the world's going to have no choice but to accept it. And those people that want to be with you on the ride will be there. And those that don't, that's okay. They don't have to. It's nothing personal.
Yes.
That's that.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I don't know how we breezed through everything so quickly.
I know.
But I mean, we're already at the end of the interview.
Oh my God.
Can you believe it? I know. I can't believe it. So if you were to bear it all and reveal something about yourself that you haven't told previously, what would you share with me today?
Wow. I was debating or not whether to even talk about this, but I
Mhm.
feel like I want to, because
Okay.
it's something that follows me around a little bit, is that I have an eating disorder.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm in recovery. I mean, I'm
Uh-huh.
not, and it was self-recovery, but yes, since I've been 18 years old.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes. And it is something that is the craziest thing that
Mhm.
happened. And I say that I'm not putting it lightly. It's something that a lot of men and women and men, like I said, men too,
Mhm.
suffer from. And it kicked off just from a breakup in high school. And it kicked in this eating disorder. And I beat it, and then I ended up gaining more weight because sometimes that'll happen. I went the opposite way. And then about 10 years ago, it kind of kicked in again as exercise. Because it's not just not eating, binging, and purging. It could be other things too. Because I was working at a gym at a
Uh-huh.
Y, and you start to see all these people coming in and out, and you get in your head that you have to look that way too, because we're visual, right? We're
Mhm.
visual people.
Yes.
So it kind of kicked in again. um I'm fine. I don't do
Mhm.
it now. Like, I'm very healthy now.
Mhm.
I eat healthy.
Mhm.
But yes, it is a real struggle. And I think when people say, "Well, just eat a sandwich," it's really not like that.
Mhm.
There have been times when I don't know if you've ever never had an appetite,
Mhm.
like you just don't have that feeling. Sometimes
Yes.
that void feeling is just there. So um I love eating.
Mhm.
Trust me, I love food. I love the taste of food, but I eat differently now.
Mhm.
I eat obviously to survive. We need food to survive. But I have to make myself aware of it. Now when I do, because I do modeling, I will
Mhm.
show my stretch marks. I have stretch marks. I have 3 human beings that grew inside me.
Mhm.
They're never going to go away. I have a scar, but I'll wear a bikini on the beach.
Mhm.
So we're kind of heading into this direction where we're recognizing that beauty doesn't mean that you have to be thin
Mhm.
or the perfect body. But with that being said, I'm also pro plastic surgery. If that makes people happy, then go do it. It's none of my
Mhm.
business. My goal is just to, I love seeing people happy, and I love it when women message me and they'll ask me, "What do you do? What do you do?" I said, "I just had to retrain my thoughts
Mhm.
and the words that I was talking about myself. I will never put myself down. I will laugh at myself.
Mhm.
Absolutely, because I know I'm wacky, but I'll never put myself down."
Mhm.
And that's what I tell people. Just,
Mhm.
you have to get used to saying, "I love myself." It's
Yes.
okay. Be humble and love yourself. So that's, yeah. So anyway, that is my thing.
And thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm good now. I mean, my tongue might be cracked open forever, but yeah, I learned from that. I learned from
Mhm.
that. And I definitely enjoy food more now.
Mhm. Mhm.
I enjoy food more now. So I'm actually like, what am I gonna make for dinner tonight? Like, while I'm thinking, I'm like, I gotta take stuff out of the freezer.
Well, this has been so much fun. I always love talking to you and getting to see you. You have such a great energy.
You do too.
Um,
I
thank
miss you.
you.
I
I
miss our little
know.
phone combos. I love
I
when you
know.
would send me the schedule. You're like, this is the time. But thank God you did that, because I need that.
Yes, yes. Well, I can't wait to come to Bootown again and have coffee with you because
Yes.
I love the town and
Please come.
I love seeing you.
I know.
So where can everybody find you on social media?
So you can find me on Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Lomo Mills. So Lomo Mills. You can follow me on, or friend me, whatever, on Facebook, Lauren Moran. You can also, if you want to give a like to Big Guy Pictures, you'll see a guy with his arms up. That's our Facebook page, and Big Guy Pictures is on Instagram. We have a YouTube. I have a YouTube. It's Lauren Moran, maybe Lauren Moran Mills on my YouTube, but I'm out there.
Everybody watching, follow Lauren, follow Big Guy Company on social
Oh,
media. Big Guy
bigguypictures.com. That's
Pictures.
Big Guy
Yes.
Pictures, and that's our website, bigguypictures.com. If you send me a chat, I handle that, so I will chat with you. So follow Big Guy Pictures.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we look forward to seeing everything you have coming out, all your projects, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
He'll get the dirt and the scoop and the story, for he happens to be in the know. Just ask anybody who's had him. Adam lives for the business of show. Call me Adam.com.